Welcome to Cosmic Channels. I'm your host, Braden. Well, this is your show. I just host it. I take all your spooky calls, your ghost calls. You've seen some UFOs, some cryptids. You had a scary interaction with a shadow person. This is the place to call. This is the place to call. Cosmic Channels, 1-833-703-0424. Listen. At the top of the show, if you were listening to the live stream from last Thursday, I said that, I had said that I was down on the show and we beat all records. Well, I just pulled up the download report for today, and I don't know how. I've got to say a huge thank you to everyone out there that's listening to Cosmic Channels, because the numbers from last week, which were our all-time high numbers, somehow we doubled. That's never been done in the Cosmic Channels. The all-time high has been slowly growing. You could see the growth, and then all of a sudden we have this huge candle of downloads that has doubled our previous all-time high. So thank you so much to everyone who's listening to Cosmic Channels. This is your show. Like I said, everything we raise, we fundraise for it, we put back in. I take all feedback from the listeners on how to, what we can do, what we can tweak. But listen, as you know, no one's here to listen to me yammer on. We're here to listen to your calls, and we already have a caller on the line. We have Charles from Indiana. How's it going tonight, Charles? Charles, are you there? Charles? Charles!
I'm muted right now.
You're not muted. I can hear you. Are you watching the live stream? Charles?
Braden.
Charles.
Yep. There we go.
No,
yeah.
You
muted me. I got the stream on my laptop, and you muted me. Come on, man.
That's my bad. I lied when I said I took you off hold. I did not take you off hold. I didn't do anything. I totally missed I missed the hold button with my finger, and I was like, I don't know why this isn't working. Charles, what's going on tonight?
Dude, so I wanted to call in last week, but I got tired because the East Coast versus West Coast. But I got ghosts.
I love it.
Like multiple ghosts.
I love it. And you were saying you called early, and listen, I love when people call early because twofold. It helps me set up the show because I truly never know if anything's working. So it always kind of gives me some time to just sound check some levels, make sure everything's good. and stuff like that. So it's always really appreciated when I get that first call a little early. Secondly, you said you were telling me something about someone who turned you on to the show.
You cutting out on me.
Oh no, I'm cutting out. One second.
Yeah.
I gotta. If you're watching on Instagram, I gotta lose the Instagram feed.
I've got it on YouTube right now, so.
Yeah, let's try. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
There we go. Because I moved the studio, and the studio is still. Hopefully, I can have it hardwired in before next week. I can't run everything all at once, so it's like some things lag down. So, Instagram. If you were listening on Instagram, you know what? Tough titties. Go somewhere else. You gotta go. We got YouTube still. We got Facebook. Go check out there. Charles, you were telling me about who turned you on to the show.
There was a guy on the Paw Patrol show. He was a stagehand, like I think probably 6 years ago. It's like, hey, you like aliens? I'm like, yeah, I like aliens. Well, listen to Aliens Theorizing. I was changing the marquee at Old National Center in Indianapolis, which is part of my story too. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be great. And I've been listening ever since. So it's been a long time. First time caller. I listened to Cosmic Channels ever since it started. But I got ghost stories.
I love the fact that there was a Paw Patrol stagehand, because 6 years ago, like, listen, we're crossing over now. Like, all the theorists, we all got kids. We're coming into the Paw Patrol age for the theorists. That's a funny little overlap. Let's hear your ghost story. What do you got for us tonight?
All right, so I guess ghosts surround me. So in my new place right now, I got a ghost here. I was having a sleep paralysis episode, and I woke up and I saw the ghost. I'm like, okay, I got to get out of this sleep paralysis episode. So I got up, ghost is still there, and I'm an aggressive middle-aged man, so I swung at him, went through him, turned the light on, disappeared.
Weird. It's just like, wake up from sleep and someone stand like full, like see-through apparition, full just person, shadow. Describe what you're seeing.
Just a guy in a white shirt and blue jeans, face to face, like within like 6 inches. And I punched it.
White shirt and blue jeans?
Yeah, it was clear as day.
That's fucking Bruce Springsteen. You're describing Bruce Springsteen.
Was it? I mean, this is Indiana, not New Jersey. So.
Yeah, I guess so. It's so strange, like leaning over the bed, hovering. Like, how's he standing there?
So I was asleep on the couch, and he was just standing next to our television.
And just
so like I was like, hey, intruder, fight or flight, fight. And then I turned the light on and just disappeared as an older man.
So when
you
you took a swing at him, did you go right through? Like, did you swing with such force and miss that you like threw yourself off balance at all? Like, was it quite jarring?
It was a haymaker. So yeah, I threw myself off balance a little bit. But,
yeah, and then nothing.
But yeah, nothing. So I used to work at a haunted music venue too.
Okay, where was that? Well, hold on. Before we get to the music venue, is it so? This is your place of residence where this happened?
Where I'm sitting right now.
Any other issues in that house? Footsteps? Any other kind of precursors, or is this a one-off kind of thing?
So my girlfriend's a hippie, and we've staged a lot. But there used to be a corner in my bedroom that the dog wouldn't walk into.
Ooh, that's strange.
And yeah, so we staged a lot, and we haven't had any issues.
Yeah. I've never had to sage a house, but I've heard that's the ticket. So it's like, it sounds if you're doing it regularly, you're keeping, whatever was there at bay, maybe. No issues really since.
What's up?
No issues since the saging and continued.
No. It's been about 4 stages afterwards, so we're doing better.
Good. Well, I mean, that's a testament to people who think there's something. Like, I should have saged my parents' house when I was growing up, because it's like people say, like, that's the ticket. If that doesn't work, then you got to bring in the heavy guns. You're going to the church or something like that.
Well, we can't afford heavy guns. We're in Indianapolis.
Yeah. So tell me about this haunted music venue.
All right, so it's a place called Old National Center, downtown Indianapolis.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like a Freemason Shriner venue.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the old potentate, which is I think the president in Mason terms, passed away from a heart attack before going to a show in like I think 1920, and he's been haunting the building ever since.
Like they just
And I thought like, what's up?
ghost apparition walking around. Like what did you hear before you had
So-
your experience?
So I heard he haunted his box. It's a theater, general admission show room, and a small venue. So in the theater, he would haunt his seat and just have a blue light when all the lights were out at 3 a.m. Yeah, I'm like, oh, whatever. They renovated since then, so he stopped haunting the theater. But he still, like, just meandered around the building. So on my second day of working there, I was going to the bathroom around 2 a.m. Just wanted to leave, about to clock out. All the urinals around me flushed. And they were all motion sensor. So I just stopped peeing and just ran out the door, didn't clock out or anything. That was my introduction to the ghost.
Weird.
Then it's because I that's what I fixed. I was a maintenance guy, so like I fixed the toilets, and they're all battery operated motion sensors.
Very strange. What was your initial thoughts when it was happening?
I didn't even think. I just sprinted because I'm like, this is wrong.
Yeah.
Everything's wrong right now.
And everyone always asks when people are telling ghost stories and stuff, like any weird smells, anything like that, like.
No. The building had a bunch of like cold spots, but it was. I was trying to just go home because it was 3 a.m. So.
Yeah, there's no better reason to go home than you're like, oh well, it's ghost time. I'm out of here.
Well, no, that's part of the problem. So every time I was there at 3 a.m., I became a manager, and at 3 a.m. I would start hearing footsteps outside my office, and no one else was in the building because we did concerts, so like we were there late cleaning up, and then I'd do paperwork afterwards. So I was there until at least 3 or 4 a.m. And around 3 a.m. I would hear footsteps outside my office, like light steps, and everyone else was gone. So I'd go out and look, and there was nothing.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah.
I hate the footsteps bother me, and I can relate to them so much because I've had that's probably the number one experience I've had is the ghost footprints, and it's the weirdest thing, and people have been like, oh it's floors creaking and wood expanding, and I'm like, no, I've heard that. I know the difference. I've heard people walk in my house, and so it's like when you hear it, you're like, ugh, what the fuck?
Well, it's terrazzo too. Like there's no expanding or contracting. It's like solid stone.
Yeah. So you're like, it's like very apparent of what a footprint sounds like on it.
And so like, here comes another thing. So like I used to change the light bulbs. Like it was a bunch of ornamental light bulbs, and every time I like looked at one to change it would explode.
Like the filament inside, or like the whole bulb would just psh?
The glass would explode.
Wild. So this bulb is already dead, and you're going to change it.
I'm coming to touch it, and the glass explodes.
How often did that happen?
It happened about 7 times in 3 years.
Now, my question is, like, in my head, I'm trying to be like, okay, is there any, like, can I chalk this up? Like, how old are these lights you're changing? Are they those long, like, tubes that the wrestlers smack each other with, like, really brittle? Like, any chance that, like, just disturbing the housing becomes so brittle that they're just fall apart?
I mean, they were ornamental.
Okay.
But, like, I mean, they were glass. They weren't, like, cheap.
Yeah. That's so would they just crack and crumble, or like actually like explode out, like
explode? Like the only thing left was the socket in there.
Oh, it's so strange.
Yeah, it was pretty haunted. So my boss actually saw the ghost. So he went up to the attic in our freight elevator, and he opened the door, and the ghost was staring right at him. Just like when the doors opened, like cold just like surrounded him, and he saw the old man just standing there right in front of him.
Oh, it's so weird. Do they do, like? Why don't they do haunted tours or anything? They ever done anything like that in the building?
Well, because it's a Live Nation venue.
Yeah.
And Live Nation doesn't want that negativity.
I guess so. Yeah. Just seems
That's
to me like
really they do
really
haunted tours
capitalize on
outside, but yeah, they don't go inside.
It's so strange. And it's so weird to have a spot like. Have they ever reached out to like have someone come in and kind of check the building over or anything like that?
They don't want that publicity. It's Live Nation. They want to stay up on the level.
Yes, so nothing. They're just like, well, deal with it, everyone.
I mean, like there's plenty of publications online about like how haunted the building is, but it's I've seen it firsthand. It's very uncomfortable.
I'm just surprised that like there's never been like a like a Zach Baggins like YouTube overnight of like this place.
Well, it's a corporation, so they don't want them in there.
Yeah, I know. It's just like
that's really the only reason.
That's so strange. Cause
America's weird.
Yeah, like the History Channel shit. Like they got some feelers and stuff. And I mean, some of these ghost hunting shows are like have some pretty far-spanning reach of some to get. It's weird that this place. What's it called again?
It's Old National Center, downtown Indianapolis.
Old National Center. Man, you should pick yourself up like a spirit box or an EMF and just bring it into work with you.
Well, I stopped working there about 9 years ago,
so maybe there's some. I would love to hear other people that have worked from their other accounts. So hopefully your story is other people are like, I worked there too. It is fucked up.
No, I can send them all your way.
Yeah.
Oh, I also mentioned at 3:33 a.m. the elevator's always broke.
That's so it just turned off. Weird. Fuck. That's
They just.
I wonder.
So I would have. After 3 a.m. I couldn't take the elevator because I was the only one who knew how to fix it.
I feel like there's got to be more history in that building than just like some president of the club having a heart attack for all this kind of.
I mean, there was a bunch of French and Indian War stuff here, but
yeah, it's strange. I'm interested to try to learn the history of that building. But if you have other people that you knew that worked there that had experiences, call. I would love to hear more accounts of this from this building.
All right, I will do, Braden.
Thank you so much for calling in. I love people's workplace experiences of haunted buildings. So hopefully your call inspires others to call in and share their fucked up places they worked.
Hell yeah, Braden! Thank you very much, man. I'll listen next week and listen on Monday.
Beauty. Thanks, Charles.
All right, bye.
Bye. Oh, it's man. When I hear these stories of these accounts, I'm always like, why? I get it. They don't want the people in there filming this stuff, and because then I think it draws a crowd, and maybe not the crowd that everyone wants, but these haunted buildings, man, they're terrifying. Some of these buildings, you just go in and you're like, the vibe is off 100%. So you got a story? You got a story about a haunted building that you worked in, a haunted building you know about, or do you live somewhere haunted? Call in. Lines are open, 1-833-703-0424. I saw someone was on hold, but I think I just lost them before. Someone on the chat saying, heads up, your Twitch channel social links seem to be broken. What do you mean broken? I'll figure that out. What do you mean? They don't go anywhere? I'll have to figure that out. The other thing is, as it's getting hotter, we're getting into the sunny season. Humming and hawing if it's better to have, maybe push the show a little later in the summer. But I know that pushes the show later for the East Coasters. So I'm always kind of torn as to when the best time would be for, for this. taking feedback and suggestions in the chat. If this is a good time, this 6 to kind of 7:30ish, depending on the call volume, works for me. But I'm always open to kind of move things around and try different dates and try different times. So if we have any ideas in the chat of what we think might work better, because we are on the back half of season 8. Like we made the changes that we did. We've been riding them. So we're on the back half of season 8. Probably only going to do between 3 and 5 more for season 8. Then I'm going to take a little bit of a break. And then I'd like to I like to revamp, keep it fresh. So if you have ideas that you want changed or cool ideas that you want me to try out for season 9, if it's good enough, I implement them right away. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. And as always, we're raising money for ads, Instagram ads, because I want to really launch a bunch of Instagram ads in London and the UK, because we raised enough money to get that UK phone number. So before I activate that and go live, I'd like to run a couple ads in the UK and, get our listenership up there so we can elicit some more UK calls. But the lines are open, 1-833-703-0424. I need a call. You got a ghost story? You seen an alien? Get on the horn. Call your boy, because we need some calls. Calls drive the show. I don't know. I'm looking at the Twitch right now. And I think you mean the panels. There's panels I'm looking at, and they don't work at all. You can't click them. I don't think I've ever set those up. Thank you, Ghost Tech, though. I'm going to check that out. And again, if you're watching this live right now and you're not watching it on the Cosmic Channels YouTube or the Cosmic Channels Facebook or the Cosmic Channels Twitch, please do us a favor. Head on over, close the feed from the Big Theory YouTube page. Close the feed from the Alien Theorist Theorizing Facebook. Go sign up on YouTube. Watch on YouTube. Watch on Twitch. Those are the best places right now to watch. Help grow the show. We're getting super close to our goal. Let me update you guys on. We need 3,000 watch hours. I think we're at 1,100 and something prior to that. Right now we are at. Let's see here. Right now we are at 1,380.2 watch time hours. So that's pretty good. We're getting there. All we need is 3,000 in 365 days. So we're gonna smash that probably in another month or so. So thank you everyone helping that. Yes, Bandito, thank you. If they're watching on the ATT feeds, switch over to the Cosmic Channels feed. I can see your little numbers, right? I can see if you're watching on the Twitch in the bottom right hand of the screen. If you're watching anywhere that's not one of those places, that's the Cosmic Channels. It is what it is. But we need a caller. 1-833-703-0424. It's unfortunate because with all the move and stuff, I've just been really trying to catch up. So I've been trying to, I'm hopefully going to be back on the regular schedule next week. So I'll have social media posts going and stuff. But we got a caller on the line. Call us a priority. Let's go to the caller. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, this is Lauren from Wisconsin.
Hey, Lauren, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad tonight. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, so I actually have a ghost story. I've been listening to you guys forever, but I've been too much of a baby to call in. But
thank you so much for calling. You don't have to be a baby. It's not, I get it, but it's not nerve-wracking. It's not.
I know. You always say you're nice to talk to, so I'll believe you.
So
my
let's hear
ghost
it.
story takes place in Indianapolis. Your last caller inspired me.
Oh,
Yeah, I've actually been to
thank you,
that concert
Charles.
venue that he's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have any ghost experience there, but it's a cool venue.
Yeah, but you're familiar.
Yeah.
Right on.
So I lived in Indianapolis about 10 years ago. I lived in an apartment with some roommates, and we were just like going through a ghost phase, and we just watched everything about ghosts all the time. We watched a show called My Ghost Story, Caught on Camera, and it's just like super ridiculous, but we're obsessed. So we started like feeling afraid in the house all the time, but we're like, no, this is just because we're watching this shit all the time. Like, there's nothing actually here. So we'd kind of let it go, but we'd also kind of like leave lights on in the house all the time because we weren't too sure. So one day, it was the middle of the day, and I was sitting on my bed, and I was eating ice cream, and I put the bowl down next to my bed, and I just like turned to do some stuff, and I heard the sound of my spoon slowly going around the edge of the bowl.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was like a distinct sound, like the sound of a spoon on a bowl, like a glass bowl. It was like very distinct. I kind of just like sat there frozen for a second.
Yeah, like someone took their finger and just kind of rubbed the stem of the spoon and rolled it around the edge.
Yeah. So I just like sat. I was like so afraid, like I did not want to turn around. But of course, when I turned around, nothing was there. But this was not like a dream police situation. It was like the middle of the day, and the sun was out and everything. I wasn't even laying down. So that was like one of the first things. And I told my roommates, and they were freaked out. And we're like, oh, so maybe this is not just because we're watching ghost stuff. So time went by, and like we were feeling more and more uncomfortable. And one of my roommates worked really, really early in the morning, so she had to get up at like 4. And she was out there by herself, and she said that she saw just like a shadow pass slowly across the wall of the whole apartment, and it just like went really slow, and it was like in the moonlight because it was still very early, and just went like all the way across the apartment. And she like came and woke us all up immediately.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what was your guys' reaction like getting up and hearing that?
I mean, we're like pretty terrified. Yeah. It was all like really scary, and it was again like proving that it wasn't just our imaginations, like maybe because we were so obsessed with ghosts and we were like talking about it so much, we like opened ourselves up to it and, let something in, I guess, is like what I would.
Yeah, I think that's a very good possibility, especially when you become, when you go through a phase where you're like, I mean, a lot of us that are interested in this kind of, it is aliens and ghosts and stuff. You kind of like, you go on binges, right? Where you'd be like, I found this show and I love it. I'm watching every episode. And then it's in your head, right? And then it's like, maybe there was something already in your house, but you never paid it really any conscious, like, attention because you weren't thinking. You were just like, where's my keys? Right? Can't find them. Oh, there they are. And not realizing that, no, they moved. And not questioning it. So you weren't really feeding whatever's there the attention. But now that you're aware of it, and you're heightened, you're giving like all the attention to it that it's craving, and so now it's like it starts to snowball. Things gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you start to notice it more and more. So yeah, I think that's probably what happened there. What else happened?
You cut out.
Oh, I said, Lauren, what else happened there?
Oh, okay. So little stuff happened there, but after, like all these things were happening, we started to research it. So I started like Googling things because this was a really old apartment building, like all brick, just like really old. Everything seemed almost original in it. And so I researched, and I found that nearby there's like this one headstone, and it's surrounded by fence, and it's like the last remaining headstone of this Revolutionary War cemetery that was torn up, I mean, many, many, many years ago. And this headstone's like a few blocks away from the apartment. So I was like, interesting. There used to be a cemetery here. Like, what happened to the cemetery? So the more research I did, I found like news articles about people in the houses surrounding the apartment complex that would like do renovations and builds and shit, and would find like bones under their house.
Like
human bones. Like
human
like
bones.
they moved the headstones but not the graves. Yeah.
Ooh,
like that.
that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. So like then we were like even more validated in the shit we were seeing. We're like, no, this is not just because we're watching some stuff. Like, sure, we opened it up, but like there was legit history and possibly legit bodies like under that complex.
Under the house, remains, like human remains.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Now, did you do any saging or anything like that, or?
No, I mean, like when that lease was up, we were just like we moved to a different apartment. I don't think this was over a matter of like a few months, so it wasn't like too long. And when the lease was up, we were out of there.
Oh, that's that's terrifying.
Yeah.
So is that like one of the primary reasons why you left?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was like to the point again that like we always had the lights on. Like none of us really felt comfortable being home alone. Like it was 3 female roommates. Oh yeah, and I forgot, like the front door would like open sometimes. So there was that. So yeah, it just like was not a thing. It didn't necessarily feel like malevolent, but it was also not a comfortable feeling at all.
Yeah, that's no, that's fair. And I think I know what you mean when you say like it's just unsettling almost. To be in there.
Yeah, like for some reason I felt like it was a woman. Like not I mean, I felt strongest in the kitchen. Like I'm not saying she belonged there, but like it just felt strong in the kitchen. And like someone was always over my shoulder when I was cooking, like to the point where I didn't want to turn around. You know, like everyone says that in a ghost story, but that's just really how it felt. So yeah, I mean, it was a crazy thing, and even crazier to be like there is actually history behind that. So yeah, that's my story.
Lauren, you kind of remind me too, because I really need to start asking people, and I know your situation there, you move nothing, right? Like after you move, it's all good.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So because I need to start asking that to try to narrow down if it's the house, but then I also got to remember to ask people if they've recently bought anything. Because now I'm starting to I'm really starting to get on this like the bandwagon of like the marketplace hauntings of like people buying these like cursed objects that they have no idea. Like someone's like, you know, they go antiquing and they buy some deceased person's like favorite heirloom, and then it, you know, they bring it into their house and they start to have these kind of issues. But in your case, you know, I think you probably, through you guys' own research, I mean, if I was a bet man, that's probably where I'd put my money, is like, yeah, they moved the headstones, didn't disturb the graves of these poor souls, and you know, it's their spirits are lingering, upset, right? That their remains were desecrated, basically, for a multiplex condo or whatever it is. I imagine that, you know, they're like, I paid good money for this plot. Right? Like, this shouldn't happen.
Yeah. Right.
So they're pissed off, right? So it's a very interesting one. I'm glad you got out of there. You ever think about messaging people in the building or anything, or being like, hey, anyone have weird experiences here? I used to live here. It was weird.
Right. I mean, I don't know anyone in that building now, and I live far away. But
well, if you're ever in the area,
anyone listening,
if you're
listening in Indianapolis,
go to this building, throw up a little sign in with the pull tabs. Oh, that's what I should make. I should make Cosmic Channel, you know, where you post it, and you'd be like, "Are you seeing weird stuff?" With just the pull tab numbers, like they do for the AA things. You compare the number.
Yeah.
And it's just this number. Yeah, that's a good idea. Lauren, thank you so much for calling in and sharing that. that ghost story. I'm glad you guys got out of there when you did. Nothing too serious happened, and it made for a good story.
Yeah, thanks for listening. And it turns out like it wasn't scary to call in at all. So anyone that's scared,
yeah, I think those nerves come in, but listen, we're an easy show to call into here. We're all friends, so it's all good. Thank you so much, Lauren, for calling in, and take care of yourself.
Yep. Good night.
Bye. Love it, man. Listen, you got a haunted. You lived in a haunted building. You've seen ghosts. This is a show 1-833-703-0424. We love hearing that stuff, the spooky stuff. Real spooky episode. Give me the heebie-jeebies. Yeah, chat. I don't know what's going on with the chat. If you're shooting chat messages, I can see them all, but the ones popping up on the stream are only certain ones. I don't know why. I think it should be like if you're watching, the only chats that'll show up on the live stream are from Twitch and YouTube, Cosmic Channels, I think. I'm not sure what's going on. I did a hard refresh on the chat there. But lines are open, 1-833-703-0424. Look at that. Caller on the line. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, Braden? My name is Connor. I'm calling from Southern California.
What's going on, Connor? How's it going tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Not bad, man. I'll tell you, it's this new place where I have the meth laboratories. It's directly in the sun, so this little tin box starts to get a cooking.
You're cooking in there.
Oh yeah, baby. I had the AC on before, and it was a comfortable. I was like, I'm gonna make it chilly in there before I record. I was like 21, and then I'll kill it, and then I'll ride the wave of coolness, and that lasted 25 minutes.
Man, I hope you get that breeze in there, or else you're gonna be a rotisserie chicken.
Oh yeah, buddy. I'm gonna look like a broiled ham by the end of this episode. What do you got for us tonight?
I just wanted to talk some theories about life, everything, anything. Like, choose a topic: consciousness, afterlife, life in general. Which one?
Well, let's go afterlife. I always like to hear people's, what their thoughts on afterlife are.
All right, so, like, you know how religions are basically kind of guides on how to deal with death and, like, life, kind of mostly in general. Every one of them is sort of based around life and death in some kind of way.
Yeah.
This is kind of perfect because I wrote down something about religion to talk about, and this ties in, so that's good. Like, death seems like it is like the next step of consciousness, or like the next plane that our consciousness gets to go to after experiencing on this one. Because like this world in this space, like if we zoom out completely, we're in space, which is emptiness, with like the occasional flaming plasma ball the size of 1 million suns and stuff like that. Simple stuff. Some of them got like some rocks, some volcanoes, some mountains, same rivers, same like build as our planet, but the difference is like those are barren. It looks like they were like fucking exploded, nuclear disaster type worlds. And then you have Earth, which is the bubble of civilization, or so it seems. Scientists look out into the universe looking for signs of life and intelligent responses and frequencies and stuff like that. But we look past the Earth. We've been so desensitized to where we're living that we're literally like a bubble of civilization, of intelligence, in all forms, from bugs to animals to humans. They're all intelligent in some way, and they're all kind of based off of some weird similar thingy. So this Earth, this plane of existence for all of us experiencing it, I feel like it's just a moment in time and time is just a continuous loop of experiences to like learn everything about itself in the perspective of the universe, I guess. So with death, I forgot who said it, but someone said matter is not created or destroyed, it's just recycled, basically.
Yeah, it's never destroyed.
So like if that's true, it can never be destroyed, and all people have like, I mean, they're all people. There's like a clear difference between us and like different species and stuff, and like humans are special in some kind of way. And like after this plane of existence, I'm not too sure what's after, but like all religious, they all kind of point to some weird version of the afterlife, and I think it's just interesting, like researching the different ones and trying to like compare them to where they all fit one story, but maybe it's not one story, just like how we branched off from chimps and that kind of area of species. The universe kind of branches off in the same way in like different eras of like the civilizations. Like it seems honestly impossible that we have had other civilizations before us, like before the time of like industrialization and stuff, like all the ancient civilizations. The sheer connection between all of the people in those times has to be so much greater than now, to where we're all like desensitized, like I was saying earlier, kind of to just like life in general. So like those past civilizations really were in tune with it. So they should.
It seems like we're missing.
They have the
something.
answer
It seems
somewhere.
it seems like we're missing. There's like we're missing something to, how these civilizations.
Seems like someone's hiding something.
Well, I don't know if it's hiding or if it's just lost. Like our science is
True.
developed in a certain way, and our societies have developed in a certain way that we're not as in tune with nature and these other things that maybe we're it's one of those things where you're just missing a simple step. Whether that
And
be
I
with,
think that
with
step
frequency,
is
like
being in tune with nature.
yeah, because ancient civilizations were like love frequencies and acoustics and like it's very interesting.
Yeah,
to go
everything
into.
real, it seems.
Have you ever read, this one's just based on your talking about the afterlife and stuff, have you ever read there's a short story, and I know the name's called, the short story is called The Egg, and I think it's by Andy Weir. It's really short, really easy read. Easy read.
I don't know. Maybe if you start like a little piece of it,
I'll kind of tell you a little. So basically, and I'm gonna botch this. Go and read it. I'm gonna kind of sum it up from I haven't read it in years.
I got a quick little Google thing up right now.
Yeah, but the concept for me has kind of stuck with me always, and I don't necessarily believe this. I always just thought it was a really interesting idea, where it's like this person dies, and he meets like a god. This person, and he meets like a god, and he's like, what happened? He's like, I died. And he goes, what's now? And he goes, I send you back. And he goes, why am I going back? He goes, well, because you have to experience the next thing, like you're growing. He's like, what do you mean I'm growing? And basically some of it is this person and the earth and this universe is all an egg for this single consciousness that's growing into a god, but he has to experience everything. And I just remember it's like a really powerful message, and I think the message is supposed to be when you're interacting with people, remember that you might be living in their shoes in the future, right? And so it's like you should
that's really cool.
Those interactions, you should be kind, because that's you're interacting with yourself. It's trippy at the same time, but it's a cool. It was a really cool short story, and it's always that concept's always really stuck with me. And I don't necessarily believe that that's what happens, but I've just thought it was a cool one. And then when you were talking about the afterlife, it just popped back into my head, and I was like, oh, I'll share that. Maybe you'd get a kick of it too. But it's always fun to just kind of like, it's one of those like the unknown, man. We have no idea, so it's just fun to shoot the shit about like, what it could be, and it could be nothing. You could be, dead in the dirt, and that's that. Lights out, game over. And it's a sad thought, but that's it's a possibility, and it just Definitely. Feels like it's a gateway to something else. What that is, who knows? I don't, but it's always kind of fun. It's the great unknown, right? Like there's no finding out until you're until you die, right? So it's
Pretty much.
It's the last.
That's what you gotta.
It's the last real surprise.
Wait for. Yeah. Yeah, I like that egg theory. That's an interesting way to think about it. I never thought of it as like we are. I mean, I kind of thought of it like that, but not really. Like the egg theory kind of brings it into like we're all making something.
Yeah, we're all together.
We're all
like
learning.
Everything you see, this is all building towards something. So that was kind of a interesting one. I know it's by. I'm sure if you type The Egg by Andy Weir, I think that's his last name, or just by Andy.
Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
sure it'll pop up. That'd be interesting. But hey, man, thank you. I love when people call in and just shoot the shit on theories. So what I want you to do, call in again, and we'll shoot the shit on life next time. So we did Afterlife this time, and we'll save life for another time.
Oh, for sure.
All right, man. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. You too. Have a good one.
Listen, you wanna call in? You wanna bounce a theory? Talk about, because maybe it'll inspire someone else. Maybe it'll have a key to someone else with something they've been thinking of. So call in 1-833-703-0424. Share your theories. I love shooting shit with theories. You got theories on conspiracy theories. You got life theories. I love it all. Call in. You think you know why ghosts do what they do? Call in. Zell in the chat saying there's a spider. No, I de-spidered the whole place. Lines are open. 1-833-703-0424. Those lines are hot. Let's go to the caller. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Braden.
Hey, you're alive. He's alive.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm alive. Hey, I just sent you a video I captured yesterday on Discord.
I can't. I won't be able. I can't open it. I can't open it right now while I'm recording.
You need another computer.
Well, it's not that I just don't trust. I don't trust having all this open and I dare not open another window.
I get it.
Because I'll open it to watch this thing. You'll rickroll me and it'll freeze everything.
All right. Well, when you get a chance, check it out after the live or whatever. But let's just say, brother, I think we just stepped into the gates of hell.
Is it a UFO? Did you watch any UFO Cowboys yet?
Dude, I'm on so many episodes in, dude. I'm laughing so hard. That freaking triangle.
It's honestly, like I said, it's such a weird show because I'm like, they paint it's reality TV. Like they're like, this is real, and then like you're like. Yeah. These guys find shit. Not only do they you have Oak Island, they don't find nothing. Skinwalker Ranch, they don't find nothing. These guys find something maybe every minute.
Every night.
Literally something. I'm like, dude, all these guys, they're gonna have a big like Avengers style meetup where everyone's coming to whatever ranch the UFO Cowboys are on, because that's where shit's popping off.
So the more I watch it, I think it's more of a show where it gets people interested in the genre and they start doing their research and start bringing people in. You know what I mean? It's super ridiculous of a show, and that but I think it's drawing people in.
Oh, dude, it like watchability of that show 10/10.
Oh my gosh.
10/10.
When Josh disappeared, I died.
I tell everyone, they're like, oh, you got any good shows? I go, UFO Cowboys, and they're like, what? I'm talking like Breaking Bad or something like that. I'm like, UFO Cowboys. I was like, you need to watch UFO Cowboys. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I got everyone I work with hooked on it. It's that show. And listen, our shows have nothing. We're saying this because we love the show. We don't get paid. We've never been reached out for. Listen, I would throw in I would saddle up in a heartbeat if I got a call.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
That's great. I'm glad people are loving it as much, because you watch it and you're like, this is my flavor of stupid. When you kind of and you watch it and then you share it with people and you're like, some people are like, I don't like that, but the consensus from everyone is, this show is phenomenal. Like the
Oh,
best.
it's amazing. I love how the old dude's always like, I've seen this before.
Yeah, and then he never explains ever. I imagine in
No.
season 2 we're gonna get like a backtrack if he's gonna like we're gonna have like a couple callbacks of like him in the past, but like
Yeah.
still him from 20
Yeah, that'd
years
be
ago,
amazing.
showing it like this is what happened back in the Hades when I first saw the gates of hell. Great show though.
man,
Anyone
I
listening who
just,
doesn't know what we're talking about,
Yeah,
treat
just
yourself.
Calling in, say hi.
Thanks. This call, yeah, it's funny. I was cutting you last night from this week's episode, and I was like, I haven't
nice.
heard John Jacoby in a while. Where's he been?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's the cut man.
all right.
I
man,
honestly, I think I was joking with my spouse there, and I was saying, I could probably put, in a couple more calls, I bet I could put out a whole John Jacoby special. I'm just all the hang-ups and half calls.
Oh man, it's amazing.
Maybe I'll do that like between season 9. I'll just release a bonus episode midweek.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things about whenever I call in,
Bass got me. They're having a nice chat, and that motherfucker got me. Listen, the UFO Cowboys, phenomenal show, absolutely great. If you don't know what we're talking about, go check it out. That shit is so funny. Jack Daniel says, "Is that a conspiracy? What's a conspiracy?" I think you're referring to the last call. I'm just saying, if you got a conspiracy you want to talk about, you can call in. Lines are hot. 1-833-703-0424. Let's get another call. There was someone on the line there. I can see when you're on hold, so you're not fooling anyone when you hung up. I saw you there. So yeah, John Jacoby gets me every time. No, it's UFO Cowboys. Listen, if you're like me and you love to, you love Ancient Aliens, and you love, is that conspiracy? Oh, no, this is conspiracy. 10 years ago, my girlfriend was all in believing the fake documenting Santa Claus and UFO was legit. Listen, if you're listening and you haven't watched UFO Cowboys, and you're a fan of Curse of Oak Island, Hunt for Skinwalker Ranch, Ancient Aliens, this show is all of that together, and that dial just cranked to 10. And if you've watched those other shows and you've been like, why don't they have cowboys doing this research? The show's got all your answers. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is AJ from Wyoming.
Hey, AJ, you've called before. I recognize your voice.
Yeah.
How's it going?
So, tonight I had a sleep paralysis story.
Let's hear it. What happened to you?
So,
well, I know what
this
happened.
happened in
Explain
college.
it.
Yeah. So this happened in college. It was my first ever sleep paralysis experience. I was just in my dorm room, and I was the only one in there, and I decided to just watch Ghost Adventures on YouTube, just kind of like found an episode, and I ended up falling asleep like halfway through it. And then I woke up when I heard the name Zozo coming from the episode.
Oh.
So when I woke up, I heard that and I was frozen. Like I tried to move, but I couldn't. My arm was like hanging off the bed with my phone still in it. And I was trying to like close the screen so it would lock and like stop playing the episode, but I couldn't. And I just remember something in the back of my head was telling me not to look towards my roommate's side of the room. So like I was just laying there on my side, staring at the wall, just like frozen. And I definitely felt some sort of presence coming from the room, and I was definitely terrified. And I wasn't really like super Christian at this point anymore, but the only name I could think of to like get me out of this episode was just to say Jesus. So that's all I kept repeating until I like fell back asleep, and then I finally like woke up.
Oh, that is. I mean, every time I hear an account of sleep paralysis, it sounds absolutely terrifying. The one thing though, like, because I remember Dan told me that what he does is he has to put all his like conscious thought into just like wiggling his one thumb, not both thumbs, a single thumb. And he just puts all his thought into that, and then like slowly that can work him out of it. And then it sounds like kind of similar for you. You're just like, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Like the power of Christ compels you, and that kind of that pushes you out of it. Like, how shook are you when you get up from that, from something like that?
I had to leave. Like I had to get out of my room. So I was terrified, and yeah, I like woke up. I don't remember if I was dressed or not, but if I wasn't, then I definitely got dressed, and I was like, okay, I'm leaving this room for a little bit until I feel better about what just happened. So I think I ended up either going to the theater or just going to like the cafe area and just hanging out there for a little bit. But I definitely was nervous to go back into the room after that, just because I was like, I've seen that episode of Ghost Adventures before, so like I know about like the Zozo demon coming through the Ouija board and everything, and that's why I was so terrified. It was because I was like, hell no, like I'm not calling that forth. I don't want that like anywhere near me. So I was like, I got to get out of here, and I did for a little bit.
That's terrifying. So you just go for like, because I feel like that's what I would have to, like, obviously I'm not going for a walk outside in the dark after that, but like definitely going to
luckily
sitting on a couch.
It was in the
lights.
afternoon.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
You're settling down for an afternoon nap.
Yeah.
And you get rocked with that. That is brutal.
It was, and for my first ever episode of sleep paralysis, it definitely was terrifying. I didn't see anything, but I just knew, like, and my eyes wouldn't even move towards that side of the room either. Like, I could only stare at the wall, and that was it. But until I like started saying that.
You could feel it there. You could feel something was there.
I definitely could, and I've seen the movie The Nightmare, because that one is about sleep paralysis, and so now that I've experienced it, I definitely am. That wasn't my first one either. I had more than that, but for my first one, I was definitely terrified.
Do they get easier? Like, do they get easier having recurring bouts of them, or do they shake you every time?
Yeah, like the one I had actually a couple nights ago. Before I woke up, I was having a dream about a demon being in my house, and I went into the bathroom, and I remember coming into the bedroom and yelling at the demon, like, your energy is not welcome here, get out of my house. And then I woke up, but I was in sleep paralysis. And I kind of like mumbled for my husband, and he like shook my leg, and it woke me up. But yeah, that was another terrifying one.
Yeah, like every time every time I think of like sleep paralysis now. There was a caller who called in a few weeks ago now, and they said there was like a presence in like a house, and like they had a medium kind of talk, and it was like a giant shadow that was too big for the room, like bent over because it's so big, just looming. And that's what I think of anytime I think of like these sleep paralysis things. I'm like, there's something in there, something giant. That's terrifying though.
Yeah, and even if you can't like see it, just the presence and like the feeling you get, that is like even more terrifying.
Yeah, just knowing that you're like, there is something.
Yeah.
So, AJ, thank you so much for calling in. Hopefully that inspires more people.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm glad I could share my stories with you.
Good. Thank you for continuing calling, and feel free. You got more stories. I want you calling again.
For sure. Thanks.
All right. Take care of yourself, AJ.
See ya.
Bye. Terrifying. I mean, it's just it's a weird thing, like a phenomenon that happens, is that where you just are conscious and awake and frozen, stiff. And it's weird because in my head, I'm like, are you just opening your eyes, but because you're still in some sort of sleep, you're having like visual hallucinations that are like part of a dream because you're in still some sort of REM state? I don't know. Why are they always so creepy? It's like I never hear someone be like, man, I had sleep paralysis. It was awesome. A lady came in my room, gave me a nice oil massage, tucked me in, snug as a bug in a rug, gave me a pat on the head and took off. Like, you never hear that. It's always like this terrifying account. Someone in the chat saying that, you know, there seems to be a large delay. It could just be the stream. I don't know. It is probably has something to do with my current setup because I'm having to run through Wi-Fi through extenders. So my internet speed is fast. I've tested it, but it kind of lags out sometimes. So that's probably what that is. Lines are open. 1-833-703-0424. We got time for a couple more calls. If there's a couple more people online. I saw there was another person. Yeah, pull out all the cables and blow on them. I wish. It's a big job what I have to do, and it's one of those things where it's like the current meth laboratories is up for sale. So it was supposed to be sold, and I was going to move inside for the time being and make a permanent backyard little shed studio. It was going to be awesome. And then the person buying it backed out, so I'm kind of in this state of like, do I hardwire this thing in now, or do I leave it for sale? So it's definitely the internet. I have 150 feet of Ethernet cable, but it's, to put it in, then I've got to, drill a hole through the floor, go into the spider-infested crawl space. It looks like, do you guys remember in Lord of the Rings when they're like, we'll go through the mines of Moria, and they go in and they get to that one chamber where I think it's Pippin, like, Fool of a Took moment, knocks all the shit down the well, but everything in that room's covered in cobwebs, like everything. That's what my crawl space looks like. You're like literally pulling webs apart in spots, and I'm like, I do not want to go in there if I don't have to. So that's been honestly, and if anyone here knows me, I have a absolute unrealistic fear of spiders. I don't know why. I always have. Hate them. Can't stand them. That's my kryptonite. Spiders. Any size spider, big or small. Actually, that's a lie. And some people might know this. I like those little crabby spiders. You know, little crabby ones that are kind of quick. Those guys don't bug me as much. I don't know why. They're kind of cute. Yes, the forest outside Hogwarts. Yes, it's terrible. It's terrifying. And yeah, I'm not a big fan. No, currently I can't even see what's in the box. It's buried. I don't have all the cameras set up, so I can't do it. I don't even think it just goes to a black screen. I don't have the cameras because I had everything. Like I said, I have everything torn down in here, guys. You can see like there's a half window AC. That's gone. Like back here, I'll give you a flip of the. It's all wrecked back there. So it's coming. We're working on it. Look up sprickets. I don't want to look up sprickets. I don't know what this is. Cosmic Channels. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? Cosmic Channels.
Oh, hey, sorry, brother. My feed was going through my Bluetooth speaker. 1 second.
Oh.
Okay, I'm good now.
What?
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, what's going on? What's the name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Dan from Smithers.
Smithers! What's going on, Dan? Have you called before?
I have called before, yeah. I
Yeah.
think I called like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, I recognize the voice. I'm getting my voice recognition is starting to improve. I'm like, as I like edit the shows and stuff, I'm like, and then I hear people, I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I know you. How's it going?
Good, buddy.
Smithers, you're still Canuck Nation up there, right? You're not Oilers side.
Yeah, there's a mixed breed. My brother-in-law's a big Oilers guy. You get a lot of university people a lot of people from here that go to Edmonton for university. So
I know. Then they get indoctrinated into the oil nation. But anyways.
Yeah, exactly. That was quite the turnover last night. Not to talk about hockey, but
we're not going to talk
anyway.
about it. We're not going to. Sorry, Oiler Nation. We're not going to talk about the Canucks. We want to talk about the Canucks. Absolutely coming from behind. We're not going to talk about that in historical come from behind. We're going to talk about what you got for us tonight.
Well, just a little bit to add to the theme tonight. So Buddy was talking about his sleep paralysis. I won't tell a bunch of sleep paralysis stories, although I have a lot. But I stayed with this Buddhist lady for a couple days one time, and I was telling her about some of my sleep paralysis stories. And to me, they didn't actually seem like sleep paralysis. It seemed like I was experiencing like crazy entities, and like I was awake. But then there's a point where you kind of snap out of it, but it's not like it really feels like you're waking up. It just feels like you snap out of this like different kind of plane of existence or something. But so I was describing this to her, and she told me, she's like, oh yeah, she's like, that's Bardos. She calls it Bardos, and it's this like lower realm. And she says like a lot of the entities there, because it's like a low vibrational realm, because it's like one of the first ones past where we live, like where our vibration is. That's why you get like these negative entities like dwelling there. And she even like described like one of the creatures that I experienced, which was like a ghoulie. It was like literally seen like one of, you know that ridiculous movie Ghoulies?
No, I don't remember it.
It's like those weird little creatures like coming out of the toilet.
Yes. That's what they look like?
That's like, I didn't like see it, but like, so the one that I experienced, it was like in between my mattress. So it was literally like inside the mattress, like going crazy, and like the whole bed was like rocking, and I like was trying to like scream for my brother, but I was like paralyzed in fear, and like I just couldn't like say anything. Like I just like croaked when I tried to like speak. It was just like oh man, it was terrifying. Anyway, so she like explained this creature, and I didn't even tell her the story. I'm like, man, I was like, that was like one of the things in my experience. Anyway, so just a quick note about that. I thought it was kind of interesting because it kind of grounded my experience to what this lady was talking about.
So is this like a Buddhist thing? Because
don't quote me. My memory is pretty awful, but I'm pretty sure it was a Buddhist thing.
Yeah, because I'm kind of looking it up, and it says there's, Buddhists. I'm also sure Buddhas and Bodhisattvas can travel there into Bardo.
Yeah. So this is kind of like astral traveling. It's kind of one, and it's a similar thing. Like, it's kind of like you access it through meditation, and I think that's why people fall into it by accident when they're like sleeping, because sometimes, or when you wake up from a sleep, because sometimes you're in a naturally meditative state and you accidentally access these places. I think that's what happens. My personal thoughts and theories about it.
Weird, yeah. I'm reading like kind of things of people. There's like, you like if you're into what we're talking about here, you can like go and look up. I found like a Reddit thread of like people in like our Buddhism talking about Bardo, And, you know, some people talking exactly what you just talked about. They're like accidentally going there through whatever means, and then figuring out that that's where they went, is this Bardo's. I'm trying to figure out if that's the name of a place or if that's the practice of where they're going. Very super interesting.
Yeah, sorry, I used to be really into this stuff, and then I had kids, and now I just don't have time to be into this stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's there are 4. Yeah, so because it's confusing. I'm gonna have to go research it some more. Maybe there's a practicing Buddhist or someone who knows more that can enlighten us. But it's like life is a Bardo state, and there's 4 different Bardos. So it's weird. So it's but yeah, it's.
This kind of actually reignited my curiosity.
What?
Because those experiences were long. Actually, haven't any real recently, but once in a while it still happens.
Well,
I used to be really into meditation, and it happened a lot more then because I was just more in the mindset. But I had all kinds of time to sit around and meditate. But 40 hours a week and 2 kids don't really leave a lot of time for that.
Well, someone's describing, and this, the reason why this has now piqued my interest that I'm looking through here is someone on this Reddit thread describes a dream, and they don't say anything that is similar to mine other than they're I have this 2D experience of being 3D in a 2D world. And it's haunting. And I used to have, vividly, I remember it as a kid. I used to have a recurring dream where I was in this weird, dull-colored 2D world. I would just wake up and I'm 3D in this 2D plane, and I'm walking, and
weird.
then a cone comes flying by me, and it goes whoop, 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 as it goes, and then I'm I kind of looking, and then I can see that it slowly goes up, and then I realize that I'm in a huge crater. And the second I realize I'm in a huge crater, I look up and there's a ball coming down that fits in this crater. And I'm trying to run to get out of it, but I slowly get crushed by it. And then I wake up in a sweat, what was that? And now this person, I'm
maybe
I was on a Bardo.
Sounds like a salvia trip.
Yeah, it's weird. I was like a little kid. No salvia needed in that one. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look up more. And if you know if you're listening to this, you're oh, I know all about Bardos. Call in, explain them. I want to know now. I'm really interested.
Well, it's another the last thing I'll say is it's crazy how you hold on to these things too so vividly, the dream that you remember, right?
Yeah.
So obviously they have some sort of real impact on you.
Well, I remember even because I was I was probably maybe 10, 11, 12, like that. And I just remember thinking at one point being is that how I'm gonna die? I'm gonna get crushed?
Crazy.
And then being weirded out by that. And then just having it just did. Yeah, it did really, I really thought about it a lot. So it's always stuck with me. So but now I'm kind of curious. I'm looking at these Bardos. I'm was I in a Bardo? I don't know. I gotta look at it. It was a weird, uncomfortable place to be. I remember that.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, brother, I'll let you go. I'll let you open up the lines. I want to hear some other stories.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah, have a good night. Bye.
All right. Yeah, are you Buddhist? And you know what we're talking about here, Bardos, and you're you guys are idiots. This is what they are. Call in, please. Explain them. I would love to chat and know more about these different planes that people project themselves to. Lines are open, 1-833-703-0424. Someone told me to look up sprickets, and I wish I didn't. Not a big fan. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, shit. Garrett from Tampa, Florida.
Garrett, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, brother?
Just chilling, sweating in my little sweat lodge here. I basically record in a sauna now. It's quite nice. I'm going to be so trim by summer. Just sweating the pounds off right now. What do you got for us tonight?
All right, well, so I've actually I've messaged you guys on like the private channels a couple times before, and I had like a weird little Bigfoot story, but you know I finally decided to call in.
Good. Did you write in a story?
Kind of.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So I sent in. So basically, so this sounds weird as shit. I saw like the only way to describe it is like a fucking Ewok, man, without the fucking bandolier and fucking cool helmet.
Yeah. So you saw a little bear looking, gremlin looking guy.
No, exactly, and that sounds crazy as shit. All right, so let me break down.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Listen, that doesn't sound crazy to me. I've told it many times. I found Bigfoot prints, and no one cared. It was wild.
So I live in the fucking middle of fucking Tampa, Florida, right? Fucking straight up fucking city, kinda. You know, a little town called Odessa, right? So we were skipping school one day, and we were, you know, climbing through the fucking woods and, you know, trying to avoid truancy because that was a thing back in the day, you know, because we were scared of the cops.
Yeah, getting arrested for truancy.
So we were, you know, climbing through the fucking bushes and shit, and we went through the woods back behind the mattress giant, right? And there was like this, I don't know, big ass opening. This is before they really developed the area that was here. Put this in context. I am 32 years old, so this was probably 16 years ago.
Okay.
And I have my two best friends that are with me, right? And I can have them call in and justify this right now, right? So I disappeared for like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes, right? And so I thought for sure that I was like following what looked to me, I thought it was a black bear, you know, because, you know, I'm not stupid. I have like, you know, cognitive abilities, and I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, well, it's walking on 2 feet and it's tiny and it's black. And I'm like, well, maybe it's a little black bear, right? But I'm like looking around for the mom. There's no big ass bear. So I just started following it. So I followed this thing for probably 45 minutes. So and I followed it around, and then
I have a question about when you were following. So when you were following this thing, you're definitely like, so it's walking. Is it walking upright?
2 legs, bro.
All right.
It's walking on 2 legs.
Okay.
It's literally like dodging behind trees, like on 2 legs. Like, it's hard to explain. Like when I first saw it, like I was like, "What the hell is that?" And like I come around the corner, I'm like, and it just kept like trying to like get a little bit further out of my like view of line. You know what I mean? But I could tell that it was like something on 2 legs, and it was like maybe 3 foot tall.
And so how long did you follow for?
Well, what I thought was, I don't know, probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, I don't know. And then I finally lost track of it, right? And so I come running back, and you know, I'm calling off my friends at this point because I lost them, and they find me, and I'm like, yo, and I'm trying to explain this to them, and they think I'm fucking crazy, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're nuts, whatever, you know, and then, we chalk it off to, you know, by the way, I'm like 14, 15 this time. So we chalk it off just, you know, who the hell knows. And then I completely fucking forget about it, right?
Yeah.
Until, I don't know, maybe I was in my late 20s, and then it just got brought back up with one of my friends that I was in. Like, you remember that time you chased that little Bigfoot? And, like, it just flooded back. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah.
That's so, I mean, Tampa, Florida, so we're probably talking swamp ape.
Skunk ape. Yeah.
The other
thing I know.
The other thing is that, like, we've done some research into the area, and there was, like, because people are like,
the giants?
No. There was like a chimpanzee research facility in Florida.
Oh yeah. And they got like bro, that's not a myth. That's true.
Yeah, no, I know.
Hurricane Andrew.
Yeah, and they all fucking got out. Is this before then?
Oh yeah. No, not before. No, this is way after. But that Hurricane Andrew, that was like the East Coast, man. That was like Miami. Like we didn't have any fucking radioactive chimpanzees
what I'm
roaming
saying
these woods.
is maybe, like, I don't know, I'm just saying, listen, if you were in some real danger if you were following a chimpanzee, right? Like you real danger. But that's what I'm thinking is like that's the only thing my brain
I was
can
14
go.
at the time, bro. I'd fight a chimpanzee. Let's go.
Oh yeah. You
14-year-old me, yeah, I would have done it.
Yeah, you would have been like that lady on Oprah.
Yeah, bro. Fucking no lips, no eyes.
Yeah. That thing would have torn you apart.
Tell you what, I'd have been on Oprah and I got some new lips and some new eyes.
Yeah, we've come a long way. It's still not good. It's still not good. But see, I kind of lean towards that, but I'm like I feel like if this thing maybe that, but it's interesting, like your description of like the Ewok thing, because I'm like, when you were looking at it, could it have been matted?
Bro, I'm telling you,
could it have been matted
from what
fur?
I
Was
saw,
it fuzzy looking?
From what I saw, it looked like straight up so it didn't look like it was wearing any clothes. I say Ewok, like just because that's the only point of reference that I can give you.
Yeah. So that's what the fur
You know
looked
what I
like
mean?
though, like fuzzy, like you could tell, like,
He wasn't like blurry, like out of focus, like most Bigfoots.
No, I meant like the fur, like when you see a bear and you see bear fur, it's not like matted. You weren't looking at like matted, muddy fur. You were looking at like.
I was not close enough to look at the the cleanliness of the fur.
Yeah, no.
I don't know if he's been bathing in the streams or I don't know.
Yeah, because that's my only question. But it's like somebody in the chat says it sounds like it was luring you.
Yeah, bro, it could have been. Fuck. Honestly, like I said, so I'm the only one of my friends that like it, and honestly, that makes sense to me because it pulled me away and I swear to God, I followed this thing for like 45 minutes. And all my friends to this day, like, well, I was only with 2 of them at the time, but they think that like they're the ones that brought it up to me. Like, I completely forgot about this until they brought it up to me. Like, you remember that time you chased that Bigfoot and you had us convinced and you made us run through the woods for another hour and a half? I'm like, what? Oh, shit. Yeah, I do. Like, I don't know. That's weird to me, too, though.
Yeah, it's so weird. Maybe you're at the age of, like, you see something and you get, maybe it's just one of those things where it's like, you're at that age where, like, you get some pushback from your peers and you're like, you're not really sticking to your guns yet. You know what I mean? So you're just like, yeah. And you just kind of let it go maybe. And you just kind of, your subconscious is like, I'm not dealing with
a little bit about myself, Braden, is, so I've never been that kind of person. I've always stuck to my guns. I know what I saw. I also have worked for a government defense contractor for a long time. I'm a very honest and trustworthy person. I wouldn't lie about something like this. The only reason I'm telling you this is because you don't know my real name.
Oh yeah, I don't think you're lying at all. No, I don't. I didn't mean to insinuate that. I don't. I think it's a phenomenally interesting account, and I'm trying to figure out like if this thing was luring you, if it has some sort of like intelligence where it's like, hey, I want to get this person to follow me, because it sounds like it was just like it outpaced you just and so I'm a hunter too. Like, I grew up hunting my whole life. I've hunted black bear, and I thought I knew what this was. I thought it was just like a baby black bear, so I started like kind of following a little bit, and then I seen it literally walk off on 2 legs, and I'm like, well, this is something different. And I just kind of followed it, and for 45 minutes, I followed this thing from tree to tree to tree, but I never got really a good look at it. But when my friends came to find me, like, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, yo, I'm chasing this fucking thing. And they're like, you've been gone for at least 30, 45 minutes, which sounded about right to me, but we could not find any trace of this thing. That's so weird. I want to like scour through like the Tampa area, like cryptid sightings to see if other people have like seen.
Bro, I'm telling you, I'll give you the address literally of where this shit happened, and literally it's behind a mattress giant. Like, so this is they just started developing like this area, like I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, but before that, it was just like that was our escape route. Like, we just ran through the woods. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's just
like,
it's so interesting because I'm like, it sounds so like just the the only thing that throws me off is the small stature, right? I'm like, is this an infant, right? Is this?
Bro, I was thinking the same thing because I thought for sure it was like a baby bear,
Yeah.
but like now I'm like, man, the only thing I can literally, and it sounds crazy, and I tell every time anybody asks me about this, it's an Ewok from Star Wars. That's literally all I can tell you is that's what it looked like, but without the fucking bandolier and the fucking,
The hood cap,
the hat and
the little stick.
Yeah, man. Like that's literally that's what I have.
No, it paints such a good
Like,
picture, but it's just it's so unique because it does feel like this thing was maybe luring you, which kind of gives it this like, was there more? Because it's like,
yeah.
The thing is for me is I'm like, to say this is a Bigfoot, I'm hard pressed to go Bigfoot route. I think this is something completely different, right? Whether like,
bro, I'm so hard pressed to go Bigfoot.
Yeah, because like,
so I'm from Florida.
It's the
skunk ape, right? Yeah. But I'm like, that doesn't.
It's so big. It's
connect to either of the stories either.
No,
I'm like, what the hell did I see?
Like maybe a small 3.5, 4 feet maybe tops.
Yeah, maybe, probably, yeah, up to yeah, probably. If I was 15 at the time, and I think at that time I thought it came up to probably like my titty level. So now it's probably like my belly button. Yeah, probably about 3 foot, 3.5 foot.
And see, some people are asking, in the chat. I don't know much about bears. This is from Duchess of Doobies. It says, I don't know much about bears. Aren't they able to walk on 2 feet? Was the stride maybe
They
not
absolutely
right?
are.
They can. They 100% can. But I'm telling you,
100%.
I'm a hunter as well. And it's like, I've come across mom and cubs and stuff. It's like,
yeah, but the problem is,
they stop.
So I'm a hunter too. I'm a Florida hunter, right?
Yeah.
You're from Canada, right?
Yeah.
A little different. But we still follow the same rules, right? Especially when it comes to bears, right?
Yeah.
You got a cub. You think there's a cub in the area. You immediately, where's mom?
Yeah, you're like, you could be in trouble, real trouble.
Real trouble.
If you're
where's
between mom and cub, you're in grave danger.
You're fucked.
Yeah,
you're fucked. Don't care if you got a brown bear, black bear, polar bear. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you're fighting a bear.
Yeah, you're fighting a bear, and you ain't gonna win.
It's now the other thing for me is, because I've seen bears walk on 2 feet. They don't look like, yes, but they don't look like,
no,
it doesn't
they
look...
walk awkward.
Yes.
No, they walk super awkward.
Exactly.
Their hips swag like they got something stuck in their butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they...
No, bro, I've seen fucking bears walk on 2 feet.
Yeah.
This was not that.
And the other thing about like it being a baby bear cub, like if someone's like, oh, maybe it was a baby bear cub walking on 2 feet. Baby bear cubs are so fucking curious that if you were pacing one...
No, they would have walked right up to me. They would have walked right up to me.
They would have
And then I would have been screwed because mom would have been like, what the fuck? And I'd have been held. I would have been that 1% of people that get killed by black bears in Florida.
Yeah. It would have... Like, that's the thing, is like the bear would have stopped to check you out, even if it's like a cub, a little bit older. Like, it wouldn't have just kept outpacing you. Like, bears are like they're more interested to see, and like they want to give you a sniff, whatever.
I'm telling you, and I know you know this is true too. As like a person in the outdoor world, like if you come across a baby anything, you should move the hell away because mom is not happy you're there. I don't care what the hell it is.
Yeah. Some people are saying that like it sounds like a skunk ape, like looking it up.
Bro, but so skunk ape. So I'm from Florida, right? You gotta realize that it did not stink. I had no smell.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's what I'm like. It's saying it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the mold. Someone else asking, was the fur long, black? Any description? Like I know it was far.
No, like I said, the fur to me looked short and like scraggly. Like I said, an Ewok, man. If you fucking look at Star Wars, just Ewok without the bandolier and the helmet, man. That's what I saw.
It's so strange because I'm like, I think that one would be easy for people who don't know to be like, yeah, it was a bear, and I'm like, no, it doesn't sound like a bear though. Like that's not what bears do.
I know bears.
Yeah, like
I've seen bears. That wasn't a bear.
That's so weird. Someone's asking any berry bushes in the area. boulder fields.
Berry bushes? Bro, we were behind a fucking mattress giant.
So,
I mean...
Garbage.
Maybe. I wasn't foraging at the time.
Yeah, it's... well, people always ask that because that's David Politis and his Missing 411 series always
I
talks
love that
about...
series, and that's great.
Talks about, like...
That's a good question.
The berries, boulder fields around, because... He doesn't like the berries, obviously a connection, but the boulder fields are like maybe they like to kind of hide in there.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So it's,
like I said, bro, it honestly, at the time, like when it happened, I didn't. I mean, like I said, I told a lot of my buddies about it, and we chased it for however, and they thought I was crazy. But it really wasn't until like maybe 2 or 3 years ago that my buddy that it happened with was like, "Do you remember that chasing that fucking Littlefoot?" And that's what he calls it, the Littlefoot, through the woods behind the mattress giant. And I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I do. So like, I don't know if maybe like there's some little memory thing in there too, but like I definitely blocked that out. Like I blocked it completely out.
That's so strange.
Until it was mentioned to me again.
Well,
so fuck, maybe I got fucking abducted by Bigfoot. I don't know.
Well, what I'm hoping is that this call, some people hear it in the Tampa area, in the Florida area, and they're like, yeah, I've heard of this, or I know someone that had said they saw something similar, and they can call in and share their similar account, because it's very, like, it's similar but too different.
Bro,
like,
the mattress giant behind Gun Highway and Citrus Park Drive. You let me know if you've seen something weird behind there.
We're gonna call it. We're gonna coin this thing right now, the mattress giant Ewok.
Bro, I'm telling you that, bro. God damn it, that's perfect.
Yeah. Until further notice, that's the name of this thing. So if you think you've seen the mattress giant Ewok out there, call
bro, I'm
in.
telling you, it's not giant. He's a little tiny guy, and he's scared. He runs from you.
I guess we should change it because
he's coming up next to you.
It's mattress giant Ewok.
Mattress, bro. No, not mattress giant. It's no, it might be mattress. I don't know. It's one of those fucking millions of mattress stores that they have all the United States that are fronts for everything.
We'll call it the mattress Ewok.
There you go, the mattress Ewok.
Yeah.
Just, simplify it a little bit. Easier on the tongue.
Hey, thank you so much for calling in and sharing that account. I really hope it piques people's curiosities, and maybe some other people come out of the woodworks that have seen something like this.
Hell yeah. Hey, Braden, I just want to let you know I've been following you guys since the beginning. I'm an original prolapser, and y'all are doing the God's work.
Hey, thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Take
Love
care
you,
of yourself.
brother.
Have a good one.
Hey, you, Zealot Andrew, and Dan, for
I'll
being
give
Dan.
I'll give the
Have a good
boys
night.
your best from you. Take care.
I will. All right, brother. You have a good night.
Bye.
Say it.
Oh, that's so weird, because I'm like, I want to chalk it up. Like, it just doesn't sound like a bear. It doesn't. And it's like, it doesn't really fit the description of a Bigfoot. Like, maybe a juvenile, but we don't know much about, like, juvenile sightings of Bigfoots or baby Bigfoots. Very strange. Lines are open. 1-833-703-0424. I don't have much time left, so this will be the last call, unless there's no one on the line. Give me about 10 seconds, then I'm going to shut her down for the night. Listen, thank you so much for supporting the show. Everything we raise from Cosmic Channels, we put right back into the show. For some reason, I did see there's some people donating to the show. I don't know what's going on, and the bar is not updating, but I see your donations. Thank you, Duchess of Doobies, donating to the show. Big support of the show. I don't know why it's not updating in real time for me right now, but I appreciate that, guys. Like I said, every nickel and dime that this show brings in just goes right back into it. So if you want to help support the show, streamlabs.com/CosmicChannels/tip. You can get yourself on the donation leaderboard and help keep the lights on the Cosmic Channels and help pay for ads so we can get more UK callers. So callers in UK, the line's coming soon. I'm going to make an announcement probably sometime in season 9. We'll get that UK line going. I'll try to do it. Well, I can do it at the same time here, so you'll be able to call. It'll just port the calls in, so you'll just have a dedicated line. But just like that, Cosmic Channels, the lines are now closed. Thank you guys so much for listening. Everyone who's listening and downloading and enjoying the podcast version, thank you so much. Like, this is, to open the like analytics today, and to just, I was blown away. I actually thought there was a mistake, because the show has been building. It has consistent growth. Like, you can see it climbing, and it's been just nothing spectacular, but it's growth, and that's what we've consistently looked for. It's just been that slow growth, and then to see this just like absolute mountain of downloads, it means people are enjoying the show the first time or coming back around and enjoying it. So thank you so much for enjoying the show. I see on the chat, Ghost sent a story in for next time. If you saw, if you send an email, I put on list. Like I said, I'm gonna have more times. I'm gonna have more pre-reads like I used to have, and I'll be sending out, if you've messaged about reading a story, those will be going out soon. This has been an unbelievably busy month for me, and my kind of schedule calms down in about, not this weekend, after the May long weekend. So not this weekend, but the next weekend, it really calms down back to normal. So it'll be easy to kind of get back in the routine of things. But it's been a difficult month and a half. So thank you all for enjoying the show and all the support. And go Canucks, go! They've been killing it. We will see you guys all next week. And if you got any, listen, I'm looking for suggestions, changes that we can make for season 9. We're maybe 5 episodes out from revamping things, tweaking things how we want to go for season 9. So if there's something you want to see in the live stream versions, there's something you want to see in the podcast versions, shoot me a message, right? I'm open to change. I feel like we've kind of got the show into from the early days of season 7 to now, we're pretty dialed in. So now let's you guys want to tweak something? You want bigger screen of Braden here? Let's play with some ideas. Let's change things around. Maybe we'll have a night where we can just sit and workshop some things before season 9. We'll work on that. But thank you everyone for supporting the show. That's it for Cosmic Channel. See you next week.